All right, let's bring in Richard Davenport here to the Morning Rush. Richard, we'll talk about some high school kids coming up in just a sec, but Arkansas brings in a Penn State Nittany Lion in Trent Gordon. What can you tell us about the former Big Ten player?
Well, he was a four-star prospect coming out of Manville, Texas, as a senior, and obviously signed with Penn State. Kind of moved around and originally started at cornerback, and this past season he moved to safety. His playing time kind of went down this past season, and I guess he just felt like he needed to make a move. Coach Carter reached out to him and really gained traction with him and gained his trust, along with Coach Odom, and he just felt comfortable with him, and he decided to go public and announce that he was going to be a Razorback.
We were discussing earlier a couple guys in this class, whether it's Keytron Jackson, whether it's Rocket Sanders, A.J. Green. Richard, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think Miles Slusher was the only guy in this past recruiting class that played a lot this past college football. I said this past. It's still going on right now for Arkansas. Is there a game changer you see in this class that you anticipate gets on the field right away this next college football season?
Well, A.J. Green, you would think with his speed, I mean, he ran a 10.38 when aided in the 100 as a freshman. That's as a freshman. As a sophomore, he ran a 10.52, and I think he was dealing with some hamstring issues as a sophomore. Obviously, past spring, he wasn't able to run track, and I think he ran like a 21.64 in the 200 meters as a sophomore. Have to look at that again, but obviously, elite speed, and that's what he's got a home run type speed, and that's what you needed at the running back position and the receiver position. Any skill position, you need that type speed in the SEC. He brings that. Keytron Jackson probably isn't the speed demon that A.J. Green is, but he definitely has good speed. And he plays the ball so well when it's in the air, and can make things happen once he gets the ball in his hands. Very, very electric. And then I think there's several candidates to play early, and probably the one that I think is so underrated because of his size. He's undersized. Is Solomon Wright, the defensive tackle. He's about 6 foot, 6'1", 280. From Oklahoma, and he had a pretty good offer list, but if he was 6'3", 6'4", he would have been recruited by everybody in the country. There's no doubt about it. I think he has a chance to be similar to Darius Philon as far as how they play the game. Very explosive and very, very aggressive. Just gets off the ball so well, and he'll hit you very violently. I think that they're going to be fairly, decent as far as depth at the defensive line position next year. But I tell you what, I really like Solomon Wright. Just remember his name.
About an hour ago, four-star offensive lineman Terry Wells from Wynn, right here in our own state, sent in his national letter of intent. Tell us more about this in-state product. We all know that the offensive line needs to be a focus this year. It's something Sam Pittman that obviously takes pride in. Tell us more about Terry, particularly a player on the eastern side of the state that our listeners on this western side may not be as familiar with.
Well, I remember seeing him as a sophomore. First thing I saw, was his great feet, and I said, "This guy's a Division I caliber prospect," and he definitely developed into that. His athleticism is what stands out to you. I think he'll play a guard at Arkansas. He could play tackle because of his feet. But I've seen him grow from about 270, 280 to 306 right now. He's already got good size now, and obviously once he gets on campus, he'll go through off season and continue to get stronger and bigger and continue to develop. But he is a 4-star for a reason. And that's his mobility and his feet.
Richard, when you look at the transfer portal already filling up, probably already over 200 players, I think it was at 190 yesterday, how big a factor is that going to be in completing the rest of the numbers Arkansas needs to fill out its roster?
I think that's probably you're still waiting on Cameron Ball, the defensive tackle from Georgia, Jalen Williams, JC defensive lineman today. Cameron Ball is going to announce at 11 a.m. Central Time on Instagram, and I think Arkansas is going to be the team of choice for him. But I think for the most part, you're probably going to see the remaining guys that they add to this class probably from the transfer portal. I could see quarterback, I could see offensive lineman, I could see defensive lineman, could be linebacker. I think with the addition of Trent Gordon, I think they're probably done at defensive back, but I wouldn't totally rule it out. It just depends on who's available and who you can get, and do you think that they can be a difference maker on your team? And I think there's not a position that Arkansas right now is set at that I think that they can just totally dismiss somebody that they think that can help them.
Richard, you brought up A.J. Green out of Tulsa. You brought up Solomon Wright. When you think about these freshmen in this class, is it harder or easier to get on the field as a true freshman than it was, say, 15 years ago?
I would probably say easier because these kids travel. They train year round, and I think you've always had kids train year round, but they're always active. They're always doing something, usually football related, either in the weight room or 7-on-7. I just tend to think that so many kids specialize, and I know a lot of people want kids to be multi-sport athletes, but some kids just focus on football so much that you could say that helps their development, but at the same time in other areas it probably hurts them. But I just tend to think that just the emphasis and also just over the last 10, 15, 20 years, we've just seen technology really blossom in the area of training too, and I think that helps. And
the 4-game redshirt rule also gives them more of a window to get on the field too.
Absolutely, and if it kind of gives them a chance to audition, and if they show well, they may lose that red shirt and play more than 4 games. So that's something that definitely helps there, Tommy.
Richard, we had a couple questions earlier about preferred walk-ons, and one of the guys that's really stood out is Cam Turner. I don't think he's been offered to this point, put up over 4,000 total yards, 66 total touchdowns this past season. Is he going to get a preferred walk-on invite from Arkansas, you think?
I'm sure that they're looking at him. All I know is whenever, on Friday nights, I would usually tweet out stats of some of the top performances of kids from a lot of schools. And whenever I text his coach, he sent me back where Cam just had some unbelievable numbers. And I think, I think he has to be on that list to be considered as a preferred walk-on.
We were talking about the college football playoff earlier. We'll get into that conversation more coming up. And it seems like, and it doesn't seem, there is a bias within that room about getting certain teams in for the television rights, for the ratings. You've been covering recruiting for a long time. Is there a perceived bias in recruiting when a kid gets offered to, say, the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the USCs of the world to boost his ranking? What have you found over the years of how recruiting players' rankings are affected when they're offered by a blue blood school?
People can say whatever they want, but whenever that happens, a kid could have some say mid-level Division I programs as far as offers, and then an Alabama or Ohio State comes in and offers. As an evaluator, you do evaluate based on what you see, but at the same time, when a Nick Saban or a high-profile program or coach offers, hey, don't tell me that's not going to influence your evaluation somewhat, because there's sometimes when you may have a question on a kid and you think, well, I'm not so sure if this kid's a 3-star or 4-star, kind of probably in between, and then the Nick Saban offers, and I'm sure that helps.
Yeah. Hey, everybody wants to know on days like this, on National Signing Day, any surprises today? Someone that may become a Razorback that wasn't committed or projected to be, and we know with Auburn's transition and situation, that might open a door there, or anyone that may end up not signing. It looks like Arkansas is going to get everyone that they have committed, but any surprises, good or bad, today for Arkansas, you think?
Don't anticipate any bad, but nothing surprises me about things that are somewhat unexpected, but that may be on the radar. So you just, I guess, stay tuned. We'll see. But like I said, I think for the most part, the rest of the class will probably be transfers, but I wouldn't rule out an late addition from, say, a kid that maybe is as reconsidered and is going in a different direction. And I'm sure that they're looking at some of the kids that were originally supposed to sign today that are going to wait till February. Those are the ones to maybe look at going into the February signing period.
And he's, I think what Richard's getting at is maybe someone potentially out of Northside High School is reconsidering his decision, but we'll see what happens. I think that's coming up later today, or it is coming up later today, and we'll see. Richard, we appreciate you shifting your schedules for us and coming on a little earlier today. I know you got a lot of work to do, so we'll let you get back to it, and we'll talk next Thursday, man.
All right, buddy. We'll see you guys.
All right, Richard Davenport with the best recruiting knowledge. You can always read his stuff on Whole Hog Sports and the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. He's the best to do it when it comes to recruiting.